All right. Hello, everyone. How's it going? So I have not been on in a long time. Despite me recording videos in October for breast cancer awareness, I never published them because I was kind of trying to do them in a rush and I didn't get as detailed as I wanted. So then I thought I would have time to go back and do that, and I just haven't. So here we are. Holy shit, you guys, it's been 6 months since my surgery. And on Friday, this Friday, a day from now, I am going in for phase two and my revision. So it's exciting and scary and but I am really in a good place. I've been waiting for this moment for a while. My surgeon even said to me at my pre-op appointment a couple weeks ago, like, are you ready for the easy surgery? And I am so ready for the easy surgery. Although they're doing a lot in 90 minutes, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But um, holy shit, it's been 6 months and there has been so much going on. And to all my friends and family who I have suddenly disappeared from for the last 2 months, it is because I started a new job in the midst of all of this, which has been delightful and wonderful. And I really love it, which is great. But I haven't worked in close to 2 years. I've been consulting on the side. So my schedule has been really flexible. But going back to work full time and having half my team in IST hours has really just like, you know, warped my schedule, right? And just kind of getting back into the swing of things. So I apologize for disappearing. But I do hope that with the holiday season and with a little bit of this downtime after this surgery, that I'm going to get to reconnect with all of you. So, yay for that. But yeah, it's been 6 months. And, it took me till about 5 months to have all of my wounds close and to get over all of the wound care and the wound healing and the issues from that. And that was really long and it was a really big struggle. And then I was so excited to be over that, but then I was also starting work that, I kind of didn't have time to give it a lot of thought, although we finally were able to talk with my surgeon and like get the date on the books. And it was like, great. That was, I think, September-ish. And then we got the date on the books for the revision, and it was kind of like, okay, that's in the future. And now it's a day away. So it has been a lot, but I'm really excited for a lot of different reasons. First and foremost, you know, I knew that going into the surgery, it was going to be a really big deal. I knew that I was altering my body in a very permanent way. I hoped that I would like it and that everything would come out okay. And, you know, it would be just as good as before or better or whatever, but that it would be fine. And I knew that I would have scars, but I don't think I was really prepared for the emotional toll of what came with having complications, with losing my nipples, with um, some of the scars that I do have, like, the incision from hip to hip. And, my belly button didn't quite heal the way that I would like, although it is a cute little crescent moon, but I have a little bit of, bumpy scarring that wasn't ideal. But I have like, you know, pretty big damage to my breasts. And, losing my nipples is like I look in the mirror and I see, this bright red, pink scars across my breasts that are, where I'm kind of missing now some of part of the bottom shape of my breast. It's like it's really hard, and I didn't realize how much it took a toll on me until I actually started going back to yoga, which was glorious. And I can't wait to get back to it again after this. But I realized I didn't really want to change in the changing room. I didn't want to take my top off. My bottoms, I didn't really care about. The hip scar, I don't love it, but it's kind of not that big of a deal. But the damage on my breasts was like I didn't want to show it. And the first day that I kind of went back to yoga and then was in the changing room and then came home, like on the drive home, like I got really teary-eyed because I felt embarrassed. And I don't know why I feel embarrassed because, at the end of the day, like I know I did the right thing for me, but it was like, would people judge me for my scars? Would people look at me and think, "Oh, what has she been through?" Like I don't even know what it was, but it was, man, just a lot of stuff came up. And so that was the first time where I kind of realized, like, oh man, like I can't wait for these to kind of look better, right? And for those scars to be more hidden. Um, so I'm really excited for this surgery for that reason. Um, I'm also really excited for this surgery to sort of like what did my niece say is to be snatched, to be all tightened up. But it'll be exciting to kind of have these areas refined, right? Is it, I never was a person that I would considered plastic surgery really, or, and it's great for other people. I know a lot of friends and family that do it, and that's awesome. I just never thought that I would be that person, but now that I'm here and I'm like, oh, you want to lipo my hips and then deposit that in my boobs and like do these things, like awesome. Make me look as good as you can, right? Because I don't want to have to go and do this again. Now, that being said, I do know that with the fat grafting that I'll have done. So let me back up. Let's talk about all the things that I'm gonna have done. So I'll have the scar tissue from the bottom of my breasts removed. They'll kind of cut it in a pyramid and then pull it back together, and it will give my breasts a lift, and then it'll create the curvature at the bottom of my breast that I'm kind of missing right now from the damage. And then they'll refine the scars on either side. They will then correct. I have some lines here because of the way the fat moved around. So they'll lipo this and then redeposit fat. They'll deposit fat from the lipo all up through the top of my chest where this is all kind of concave now, where I'm missing that. They will lipo across my stomach where these fat deposits have come in. So when you do deep, one of the things that can happen is they take all of the fat from your lower abdomen, but as they pull you down and stretch that skin, the fat layer that comes over the top of your muscle can shift around, and you can get also these weird fat deposits, which I have. At first, that I had thought that I had had a hernia, but it wasn't a hernia. It was this like fat pocket. So he'll go in and he'll lipo all of that. He'll lipo my hips, which that is the most exciting thing to me out of all of this, you guys, because I'm a curvy girl. I love my curves, but I do have these two sort of saddlebags on the side of my hips that I have never been able to get rid of. And one area that's actually partially from my car accident when I was a kid, where they gave me all of my injections and my shots while I was in the hospital. And so it's kind of this like scar tissue area that's like just doesn't go away no matter what. So he's gonna take care of that for me in this process. And then all of that fat that's lipoed is taken, spun, cleaned, and then redeposited, and we do all the fat grafting. So, and then I will have my abdominal scar revised because of my wound issues. I have some pockets and some weird scarring there. And basically, what he'll do is he'll take that and refine it, remove the scar tissue behind it where it's been kind of, I think they call it hypertrophic and lumpy. They'll smooth all of that out and then make that scar real skinny, which is great. And then they'll tuck it in because on the sides you have what's called dog ears, which is where the sides of the scar pooch out. So they'll take and he'll get rid of the dog ears, and then he'll bury those ends. And then my Ken doll, which is the front of my pubic area, which when you have deep, a lot of women talk about it because it fills with fluid. And the only way to get rid of that is to either do a lift or to lipo. It just depends on the severity of that area. For me, I'm going to be able to get it lipoed. So that'll be all, tight and pretty again. So there's a lot going on, right? And then the scars that I have underneath my breast. So I have kind of these two football shaped scars underneath my breasts, those will get what they call buried. When he does removes the tissue from the front, he'll remove that scar tissue as well, and those scars, and he'll pull it all together, and then bury those flaps, right? And that's where the initial tissue transfer took place. So we are doing a lot, and it'll be the surgery this time around, though, it's only about 90 minutes. So it does go really fast, which is awesome. And then when I come out of surgery, I'll be in the hospital maybe for a couple of hours. It really depends on how quickly I recover from the anesthesia, because me and anesthesia, we don't play nice together, no matter how pre-medicated I am. So hopefully that'll go really smoothly, and then I'll come home and then I'll see him in a week after that. So that's great. When I come home from the hospital, because of all the lipo and everything that I've had, I believe I will be in what's called a faja. So it is like a from your thighs all the way up to under your breasts. And then it's kind of like, this compression shapewear that then has like these spaghetti straps, and then I'll have some sort of compression over my chest for my breasts, which I think is just like a compression bra that they use like so post augmentation, etc. Not quite sure. He hasn't told me 100, that piece yet, just that I would be in this kind of full getup. And then with the lipo, there are two areas where I believe I'm going to have the lipo foam or whatever, which I think is around my hip and abdominal area. But I'm not quite sure. I'll find that out once I wake up in the hospital. But I will get to go home that day. And then it is 4 to 6 weeks and like full compression all the time as much as possible, so that like everything stays. Now, the one thing with fat grafting that I have learned is that even with some of the newest techniques, you can lose up to 30% of the fat transfer, if not more sometimes. So there is the possibility that I would have to go through multiple rounds of fat grafting to achieve the fullness that I want in these areas, right? So it's just everybody's different. It's just really going to depend on your body. And so we'll have to wait and see. But I'm kind of hoping that this will be my last surgery on this front. So we'll find out. Um, but I am excited. Like I feel like this is the end to this piece of the journey. It's This is a lot to go through, and I knew that it would be. I just thought that it would be a little bit faster, a little less emotional. But it hasn't been that. It's been longer and more emotional, but I really like it's really made me tune into my body. It's really made me love and appreciate what the human body can do, what my body can do, how it supports me. I feel like I feel my boobs today, and they feel the same, if not better, than the ones that I had before. It is my tissue. I don't have anything foreign in my body, and I am extremely grateful for that. I, you know, don't have I mean, I have a very small chance of breast cancer. I took that risk from 70% down to under 5%. I saw my breast surgeon a week ago, and she was so happy with the results of where things are, how soft my tissue is. Like everything feels great. I'm healing really great. There's no concerns, and that's the first time in my life that I've had that, like no concerns. Um, so it's amazing. Like it's just amazing to have that, because I've been scared of it, you know, my whole life hearing those words, you have breast cancer, like reliving my mom, I don't know. So it's this really wonderful sense of freedom that I've never had. And I do look at life very differently now. My story, my whole life has been this one scarred and marred by, my mom having breast cancer and dying so young, and my fear of that and my own health scares with it. And now that's just different. It's not. there. Now I have other things I need to be concerned about when it comes to cancer. But it's crazy. This big, ugly fucking monster that was in front of me that drove a lot of my life, the decisions that I made, how I acted, what I did, is gone. And it's great. It's really, really great. So thank you, body. So I'm going to be really happy to move on from this part of the journey. Yeah, so Friday's the day. And I go in the morning and I should be home by mid-afternoon. And it's kind of like good timing with the holiday coming around the corner, you know. We'll get some downtime. It should be really quiet for work. I am taking a couple weeks off and we'll just see how it goes, you know. But I just wanted to come on and share that because I think when you go through deep and the double mastectomy and the whole thing, and then you kind of get to the revision part, it is this kind of, I don't know, exclamation point on the process. Like um, it's a place and a space to be grateful for what you've been through, happy that it's almost over, and excited for, hopefully a really good outcome. So that's where I'm at. I feel good about it. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm sort of a little in shock. And also, I mean, it's surgery, so part of me is fucking terrified. But at the end of the day, like, I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad to be at this point in the journey where I can focus on the aesthetics now and then just come back and heal and really get my life back on track after a year of surgery and healing. So anyway, that's where we are. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. And if I don't see you, have a very happy Thanksgiving and be well.